I are a lot alike. Our stories are pretty parallel. We followed a similar path in life. Only I am much more handsome and successful and likable. Other than that, Dewey, you and I are an awful lot alike. And it really all started in 2007. The Wii was a new thing. It was an exciting thing. It was a console that it actually felt like a revolution. You know, for the first time in a long time, it was a console that was taking video games somewhere different, somewhere beyond just same thing as last time, but with prettier graphics. We were tired of that. I was tired of that. I don't know about you, Dewey. I think you were tired of that. That's why you existed. Because you were taking video games somewhere different, somewhere new. You were part of the revolution. And I was really excited about it. I was excited about the Wii. I was excited about you, Dewey. You see, Dewey's Adventure was developed by the same people who developed a little Wii game called Elebits. Now, Elebits came out before Dewey's Adventure, but it was developed by the same team right at about the same time. They were actually being developed simultaneously by the same people. And the reason I got excited about Dewey is because Elebits was one of my favorite early Wii games. It wasn't quite a launch title, it just missed the launch, but it came out in the first few months of the system, of the system's availability, and it was one of the coolest games I'd played in years. And I thought we would all love Dewey too. I thought Dewey would be just as good as Elebits, if not better, because this was a platformer. Well, it didn't look as creative and clever as Elebits, but it looked like it might also be a really fun game that was really well suited to the Wii. That's the best thing about Elebits and Dewey, is they were both doing really cool things with control and changing the way these traditional genres are played. That's what the Wii was all about. See, the problem with poor Dewey is that the Wii, there were really two fundamental aspects of its controller, right? It had the pointer and it had motion control. Those were really the two fundamental elements of that controller. And one of them was great. It turns out the pointer was the real revolution. That was the thing that lasted the whole life cycle and actually really fundamentally changed games in a really positive way on the Wii. Motion controls, on the other hand, ended up being not quite as revolutionary. Still was in some games. Wii Sports is one of the all-time great games of all time, and there were a lot of games like that on the Wii that used motion in just the right way that made it work. Some games forced it. Anyway, I'm kind of babbling on because this was a very emotional time in my life, but the point is, Dewey's Adventure was like, it was kind of like a platformer. It was kind of like Marble Madness meets a platformer, meets the cute art style of Elebits all rolled into one. And that sounds great, but you see the problem was the whole game was predicated on tilt, and you had to tilt the level, and Dewey would, you know, he would slide around like a droplet of water, and it was physics based, you know, so Dewey would slide around, but you weren't actually in control of Dewey. You were just tilting. Remember, Dewey? Do you remember your game? You would tilt the level around Dewey, and it was about as precise as it sounds. Dewey's Adventure wasn't a bad game. I think it was just misunderstood. I think even I misunderstood it. I should try it again. It was beautiful. It was a clever idea. I hate tilt controls. Would you earmuff it for me for a second? I fucking hate tilt controls. They're the worst. But even though I may not have your game, Dewey, I still have you, buddy. Dewey sits on my shelf. He keeps me company here at the office. But he is a cool little plushie. You have to give him that. How about it, Dewey? And his key feature are those shiny blue pants I talked about. Look at this. Dewey's mooning you with his shiny blue pants. The reason they're so shiny and blue is because that was a key feature in the game. See, the graphics were a big deal in Dewey's Adventure because they were really pushing the Wii to places that a lot of the haters said things it couldn't do. Things like the shiny blue on the Dewey was really shiny, and that was a clever little graphics trick that was, you know, was pushing the Wii certainly in the early years before like Mario Galaxy and stuff like that. You know, games like Dewey's Adventure was showing you can do really pretty games on the Wii. How about it, Dewey? We'd all like to go back and change the past, Dewey, but we can't do that. We have to move on. We have to press forward. We have to take the memories of our past and use them for the future, for a better future, for a brighter future. And I think we could do that together, Dewey. You and I, we're pretty similar guys. You're made of water. I'm mostly made of water. That's a scientific fact. It's the Dewey's Adventure pre-order plush. You know, you're supposed to review things that a lot of people have and therefore will watch. It's gotten to the point where I'm reviewing a pre-order toy for a Wii game that was a commercial failure and also was slammed by critics, mostly. If I had to rank my favorite Deweys, I think Dewey would be at the top. You know who'd be the worst? The Dewey Decimal System. What a Ponzi scheme that was!